This video will help you understand your options for high-pressure paintball air bottles. Paintball air bottles come in a variety of sizes and a variety of pressures. All of these bottles will output at about 800 psi, which is the same as CO2. So these will work on any paintball gun. On the smaller size, we have the small 15 cubic inch Ninja bottle. This will fire about 100 shots and is great for scenario guns where you don't want the bottle to take up much space or be very obtrusive. Next, we have the 48 cubic inch Tippmann bottle, 3000 psi inside. This will fire about 500 shots before it needs to be refilled. This is the most common economical sized bottle. It's a little bit heavier because of its metal construction, but it's very economical and it's a great way to get into compressed air. Next is the 68 cubic inch 4500 psi bottle. This one here is from Empire. This is what we would call a standard sized compressed air bottle. This is what most players are using as their higher end compressed air bottle. This bottle holds 4500 psi of pressure, and depending on your gun will get about 1200 shots. Some guns can get as many as 1400 shots. For an alternative to that, we have the 45 cubic inch Empire bottle. These are often called peanut bottles. They're much shorter. You can see it's a little shorter there. Sometimes a player that's playing a front position and wants to have a bottle that just doesn't take up as much room but still holds some high pressure, that's a good option. For a back player or somebody who just wants to shoot a heck of a lot of paint, here's the 90 cubic inch Ninja bottle, 4500 psi. This is the heaviest and biggest bottle available. It's a little bit unwieldy on most guns, but if you're a support player in the back who needs to fire a lot of paintballs, that might be a good choice for you. Over here, this is a 68 cubic inch bottle without a regulator on it. This one's made by Falcon. I have this one here because Falcon makes several bottles with wraps on them that are various camouflage patterns. One of the big differences between these bottles is the difference between the heavier metal tanks and the carbon fiber tanks. Even though this Tippmann bottle will only fire about 500 shots, it's heavier than the standard 68 cubic inch Empire bottle. So 12 to 1400 shots versus 500 shots. Big difference. But there's also a big price difference. These smaller bottles are $50 to $60, where the high pressure bottles are $130 to $160 or more. Pretty big difference on price, but the weight difference and the amount of shots you get, the 68 cubic inch is a great choice. One other thing to think about on bottles is how long do these bottles last before you have to have them re-hydro-tested. Hydro-testing is a recertification that the bottles have to go through for safety. Most bottles have a 5-year hydro test on them. That means from the date of manufacture, you have 5 years until it has to be retested. You cannot get the bottle refilled until it's retested at that 5-year point. There are some carbon fiber bottles that only have 3-year hydro test dates. The manufacturers have done this by having fewer carbon fiber wraps on them. They're a little bit lighter weight even, but they have to be retested more quickly. These are more common. The 5-year bottles are more common, but if you do see an inexpensive bottle that is fiber wrapped, check to see if it's a 3-year hydro test. You might be getting a few years less usage out of it for that. Some high-end guns will want a lower input pressure into the gun for operating. All of these guns have regulators that can be adjusted and rebuilt on the inside, lowering their output pressure. There are a few more expensive regulators that are adjustable so that you can change that pressure going out of the bottle into your gun. Usually it's easier just to change one of these permanently for that lower pressure. You're probably going to be using it on the same gun for the life of the bottle. If you're curious about the born-on date of these bottles, you'll see, let's see here, this one here says 07 of 13. That means this one was made in July of 2013. A new bottle that you buy from any retailer is probably as old as 6 to 10 months from its born on date. You can't expect to get a brand new bottle that is born last month. It's just not very common to see that. If you're seeing a bottle that's over a year old, you might be wanting to look for a bit of a discount on it, or it might be on sale. If you see something on sale, maybe it's an older bottle. That's something we see very common.